We are backstage at Pointfest 2025, and the band earlier, all right, Post-Sex Nachos, it was their very first Pointfest experience. This band here, they're veterans of Pointfest. We've had them through a bunch, and we welcome Sick Puppies back to Pointfest. It's wonderful, wonderful to see you again. Hello, 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 and welcome back to St. Louis.
Thanks for having us.
We always love coming back here. It's our favorite place to play, and we're stoked.
Well, listen, we have had such a really great relationship with you guys over the years. And I wonder, was there a moment that you could remember when you guys sort of, for a lack of a better term, where you felt like you popped in St. Louis for the first time, or you were like, okay, this is a city that we're going to be able to come back to. Like, we're making friends here. They really like us.
Yeah, I mean, probably the first Pointfest we played, I mean, years ago, probably 07, 08. I mean, this is a long time ago.
Yeah.
So we are veterans at this point. Yes, it's been almost 20 years or something. So it's, I think for me, it was like playing the pageant for the first time, which is one of my is pretty much my favorite venue ever in the country. And I just love that place. So I don't know, that was always, when we got to headline there, I was like, okay, this is crazy. Yeah, it's awesome.
How do you, as a band, as time goes on, do you have sort of, I don't want to say markers as to how you kind of, for lack of a better term, feel how things are going? Are there things that you sort of look forward to? How do you kind of sort of gauge things and how they're going these days as the world is where it is with streaming and with all kinds of different things? I mean, the way the record business is now is certainly not the way that it was when you guys were getting going in 06, 07 or playing the first Pointfest.
I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely, you have a point there. How do you gauge it? I think for us, it's still live shows, like shows like this, we're playing the side stage and it's always more, it's fun because you have that crowd response.
Yeah.
And of course, streaming and stuff like that and social media, and there's so many other avenues, but I just think the live show is just the place where you feel the energy the most and you can gauge, what you mean.
Well, because that's where me as a fan, I'm figuring you out. You know what I mean? If I come to see you live and it's not what I like, oh boy, it's going to be real tough getting me back for time number 2. But then on the flip side, if you freaking blow me out of the water every single time you come to St. Louis, I'm going to be doing everything in which that I can to get to you. Do you guys remember a band for each of you that was kind of maybe like that, to where the first time that you saw them, you were like, oh my God, I love this. And then whenever they came to your town next, you were always there?
Ooh, do you have one?
That's a real on the spot one. That's one question I should ask and then talk a little bit more so that you guys can kind of think about the answer.
Well, there's a few, I would say for me. I don't know, I'm thinking about Linkin Park probably because I'm seeing them a lot lately or whatever, but when their first album dropped, it was just boom, mind-blowing, whatever. It changed a lot of people's lives. That was one, that you're out there watching, and I don't know. I relate with what you're saying though, because when I'm up there singing, I'm looking out right at the crowd, and everyone just kind of, they're going to give it to you if it's good or bad, whatever. But something, I'm a little bit tangenting, but I wanted to make the point of that is what I've always loved about Pointfest St. Louis in general. That when we play here, because I'm looking at people too. Everyone is always, knock on wood, well, hopefully today, has always just had a lot of respect for this band, which is really, really cool to see, and singing all the words, and it's an amazing thing. But anyway, took a tangent there.
No, yeah, I mean,
I think it's a good tangent. Just saying. Yeah,
even bands that we've played with at Pointfest over the years, I don't know, Breaking Benjamins, I know big here, and they always kill it here. So just a lot of bands that we've toured. Those are a lot of bands that we've toured with over the years, and it's cool to see them in this environment too, at a festival for radio, and just everyone singing all the songs and everything. So yeah, it's always fun.
Yeah.
Was there somebody for you specifically,
growing up? I mean, I remember seeing Korn was one growing up. I love those albums growing up, and seeing them live for the first time was pretty awesome.
Man, that bass when you hear that the first time was really something else.
I know.
Fully.
Yeah. What about you, Silverchair?
Well, Silverchair is my Silverchair from when I was younger, for sure. But I think since we did this festival in Australia some years ago with My Chemical Romance, that was the first time that I had seen them, and it was after they released Black Parade, and I just was an instant fan. And then seeing them live, it was just next level, and I was converted at that point.
They are incredible, and so I love how music works. So I'm 49. My daughter Thank you. My daughter is 15 years old. And right now, and I am not lying to you, every square inch of her room has something to do with Gerard Way or My Chemical Romance. I mean everything. We are going to see them in Chicago with Devo at Soldier Field. And when I told my daughter that I got us the tickets, she started to bawl. Like, you know, the happy tears bawl, you know?
Yeah.
But it's just, it's so amazing to see bands like that have this sort of kind of second life, you know? And then it feels like for me, like, I don't want to say I take them for granted. I try not to take great bands for granted, but it just kind of reinforces how freaking awesome they are when you've got your 15-year-old going, Dad, have you really listened to the Black Parade? You know, like things like that. It's just so fun.
How did she discover it?
The way in which she finds anything these days, which is her, I mean, she's a Spotify girl. And so like, she, you know, I would bet you that it was probably like a Fall Out Boy maybe that sort of led her kind of in that direction. But one of the things, like being a big music head, and my dad was the same way, so like nobody really taught me this, but like my parents just loved that me and my brother and sister just loved music. Like they didn't really sort of care what it was. They just loved that we love music. So like with my kiddos, I just like them to find their own things however they find them. My youngest son, he gets everything from The Masked Singer, the Fox TV show, The Masked Singer. Yeah. He's singing REO Speedwagon in our house like it's new. But you know what I'm saying? Like, so I just really love how they stumble on it in their own way, because it feels very genuine, kind of like how I would have back in the day, just with a mix CD or something along those lines.
It was a little harder back when we had to do it, I guess, with records and vinyl and whatever, but like, yeah, nowadays with Spotify and streaming, it's like you can just stumble upon, like you can literally discover any recorded music in history. It's at your fingertips now, so it's like, it's crazy.
And I sound like an old man when I tell my daughter this, but I'm like, honey, you can go to the record store while you're doing your homework. You know what I mean? Like, so like, so, you know, peruse, listen, find it all, you know? So it's just been, that part has been very funny. Well, guys, it's been so great to have this conversation with you. You know, we love having Sick Puppies back in St. Louis. Like, you're just one of our like hometown bands, even though you're not a St. Louis band. We kind of consider you that anyway.
Thank you so much. We love this show. Over the years, we've gotten to play with so many amazing bands and meet all of the incredible staff at the Point, and we just love you guys. So thank you.
The feeling is very mutual.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys very much. Backstage Pointfest 2025. It's Sick Puppies, everybody.